All right, I've got two 4-minute videos I want you guys to watch. One of Canelo, one of Golovkin. I'll go back and I'll play them again because I want you guys to look at the punching, okay? Focus on the breathing. You notice Canelo, he's looking bulky. He's kind of changed up his physique, even the way he punches. Like, it looks like he's made a lot of changes here. And then I want you to compare the hook, the jab, the right, the left, everything. Compare Canelo to Golovkin as I'm talking, and I'll go back and replay it, as needed. Now, why are we talking about Canelo? Because look, you need to fully understand your opponent. You got to be able to reverse engineer them, break them down, study them, okay? Become them. Okay, you need to know your opponent, your enemy, whatever, whether it's in, a sporting event or a war, whatever it may be. You've got to get to know what you're up against. So, I think on the channel here, we need to know everything about Canelo, right? And that's what I think. And I think Gennady Golovkin, I think they would be wise to learn every single thing they can about him, what he eats, what he drinks, what time does he go to bed. I mean, everything. You've got to know your opponent. Okay, now let me give you my take of where Canelo's at right now overall. Okay, and then we're going to switch over to Gennady Golovkin. Okay, number one, like I said, you notice how he's bulked up, right? I mean, you use all the videos everywhere talking about he's huge and, he's got all this power and his speed and whatnot. But let's break it down. Okay, let's break it down. Um, Obviously Canelo has packed on a lot of muscle weight, okay? But again, remember, we've talked about it. Muscle, that doesn't mean that there's going to the power is going to follow the muscle, okay? In other words, it's going to be all show and no go. I mean, bigger is not better, okay? Um, Look, I train with guys in the gym that are skinny as a rail, but they hit like a freight train. Okay, so remember that this bulking up, it doesn't mean there's a lot of power there. I keep hearing a lot of people, talk about that. So I wanted to just kind of point that out real quick, okay? And the hand speed. Now, you notice, I think his hand speed has dropped, okay? If you go back and look at even the Khan fight or any other fight, to me, he looks a lot slower now than he did before, and the Mitt Man is doing a lot of the work. I mean, if you notice, the Mitt Man is like he's pounding on the drums, and Canelo's throwing these little quick 2 and 3 inch shots, and the Mitt Man is doing all the work, and he's making Canelo look fast. I mean, look, these punches here look sloppy to me. Very, very sloppy. I mean, he's off balance. He's telegraphing. They're looping shots. I mean, look, anybody that he could easily be countered. Now I realize there's not a real live opponent in front of him, but when I saw these punches, I was like, man, those just don't look good. And you can tell there's not a lot of power there. Basically, I think that, the power is pretty much 154 power. Okay, I think what you're looking at is light middleweight power, and that's not going to carry up to middleweight. Okay, so again, don't let the bulk fool you, is what I'm trying to say. All right. Here, let me back it up a little. Like I said, these are short 4-minute videos, okay? And again, Canelo looks heavier now than he did in the past against Chavez, against Cotto, but this will backfire, okay? Yes, bigger, but slower, okay? Keep that in mind. Bigger, but slower, all right? And again, his punching power has not increased. I mean, if you know anything about punching, you can just tell by watching, the shots look weak. They look weak, okay? And look, it is common for boxers to bulk up, and try to look big and muscular, but it doesn't equate to punching. So, you know, and not only that, if you look at Canelo, I mean, to me, just being bulky, he's already at a disadvantage when it comes to reach, height, size, his overall frame. Then you mix in that bulk, and that's just not a good combination. Okay, I mean, look. How many? Look, we actually, I was gonna leave this out of the video, but I'll talk about it. Look at the Mayweather fight. Okay, he trained to outbox Mayweather. That was the camp. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna become, an elite A-level boxer, when he was green as a, blade of grass, right? He wanted to become this elite A-level boxer. He went to train to outbox Mayweather, okay? And basically lost 8 rounds, the first 8 rounds, before his corner finally made an adjustment to apply pressure and just be Canelo, right? Be who you are and go out there and try to beat this guy instead of, becoming a boxer overnight, an elite A-level boxer. And I think they're making that same mistake right now with Gennady Golovkin with, bulking up and becoming this big bully, middleweight overnight. It's not going to happen. You've got to truly acclimate. And you know, and Amir Khan, Liam Smith, Chavez, those are not acclimation fights. Okay, that's not acclimating. So I don't know. I kind of think that the bulking up is really, a sign of intimidation. I think that it makes Canelo feel better. It makes him feel like he has more power when in fact he's going to realize when he hits Golovkin and Golovkin doesn't flinch, that the power isn't there like he thought it was. Okay, that's what I think we're going to see. Okay, now Gennady Golovkin, he doesn't need to bulk up. Okay, he's just born with incredible power. Okay, you can't just add a ton of power in a 6-week training camp. That's another thing. Even if you wanted to do it the proper way, you wanted to gain power, you might gain 10%, maybe. I don't know. If you want to go, talk about, 21, like Golovkin, we know he hits at 2,100 pounds of force, okay? You might gain 100 pounds, 200 pounds of force, but even if you want to do it properly. So I just don't understand the strategy here. I think they're making a mistake just like they did in the Mayweather camp. I think Canelo, I think he should have trained just like he did for Chavez, just like he did for Liam Smith, just like he did for Khan. Why change it up now? It seems like they're making these huge changes, and I don't get it. I don't understand. I think it's too late in the game to do that when you're 3 weeks out, to the biggest fight of your career, and you want to bulk up and be a big bad middleweight, right? Doesn't make any kind of sense to me. So, and look, I want you to look at the mitt work right here. You notice the mitt man is doing all the pop, and look at these punches. I mean, look at that. It's like Canelo is not, he's not punching. He's just holding his hands out and moving his elbows, like and the mitt man is like beating the drum. And in our gym we talk about this all the time. When your mitt man is getting in the real work, and the guy with the gloves, he's got an easy day on the job. I mean, that's what you're looking at here. It looks impressive. It looks flashy. It looks convincing. It looks intimidating. It looks professional. But ultimately, it's very ineffective. Okay, that is my point. Now, let me show you Gennady Golovkin. Now, you remember, you just saw what Canelo looked like, okay? You just saw, right? Now, let me start the video over. Okay, and here comes Gennady Golovkin. It's a little bit grainy in the beginning. I can't help it, but for whatever reason, the camera really sucked. Okay, so just give it a minute and it will clear up. But you'll notice I mean, look, Golovkin's looking good. He really is. I'm a little bit concerned about the midsection, okay, but overall, he's looking good. I mean, I like the speed. I mean, he's on balance. Just everything is on point right now. I mean, the fundamentals are just grade A on point. Okay, Canelo's flaws. Let's talk about that for a minute. Stamina. Okay, zero mobility. Okay, he's short. For the middleweight division, he's short at 160 pounds. Okay, vulnerable to the jab. Okay, the reach. The reach is not that great for the middleweight division. He cannot fight on the outside. Okay, and anyone in the comment section, let's have a good old-fashioned debate. Tell me I'm wrong. He cannot fight on the outside. He gasses out. He needs breaks. He needs to get on the ropes, the old rope-a-dope thing. He does that because he's tired. Now, look, Canelo throws combinations, very predictable, and he fights in spurts, okay? Remember, if you walk away remembering anything about my video today, remember, Canelo, he'll fight in a burst, okay? It's not every minute of every round. It's not 3 minutes of each round. It's in and out, quick burst, in and out, quick burst, okay? And not on the outside. And the only time he'll get on the outside is whenever he's walked an opponent down. Okay, so that's going to totally play against him, against a guy like Gennady Golovkin. He's going to make you fight every minute of every round. And to me, it's like Canelo was training for like 7 rounds, maybe 8 rounds. Like, the way he's bulking up, I don't see him training, for a full 12-round fight. It's just very odd to me. So, but look at Canelo Kirkland. Canelo gassed out in the third round. Okay, I was standing right there. He gassed out in the third round. So I simply think they chose the wrong strategy here. So, but like I said, you need to get to know your opponent just inside and out, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my homework. I'm observing, and I'm taking the little biased glasses off. I mean, there's going to be no more biased commentating on the channel. If I see something, I'm going to call it. I'm going to get back to my roots. I'm going to get back to who I am and why I created the channel. I created the channel to be honest and not biased. And I noticed myself drifting off that path a little bit, and I had to put myself in check. So here we are. All right. Now, again, Canelo has always had trouble with stamina, and now he just looks flat. And he looked gassed out, even in the training right there. After he was on the jump rope for a minute, like he was breathing out of his mouth. He went over and held on to the rope for a minute. He went and got a little bit of water. I mean, he was like always taking a break. And you see Golovkin, man, he's just bouncing all over. Even after Abel Sanchez was like, "Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go." Gennady Golovkin, he's still out there shadow boxing. He looked really good. Let me back it up. He looked really good. Okay. Um, and another thing, I'm gonna cut it off here in like a minute. I broke down the Canelo Chavez and the Golovkin Jacobs fight. Basically, they both threw the exact same amount of punches in that fight, around 600, about 50 per round. Okay, so I just don't see Canelo being able to do that. This bulked up. Right, and I think he'll probably come in the ring around 180 is my guess, because I know now, especially now that the second day IBF weigh-in or same day IBF weigh-in is no longer in effect. I think Canelo will indeed come in 180, a light heavy at a bare minimum. Okay. Um, but yeah, that's something, another really important thing to look out for in the fight. You want to make sure that whoever you're going for, they're throwing between 40 and 50 power punches, or just total punches per round. Okay, and of course landing the meaningful punches as well. But at least they got to have the 50 punches, just to keep up with their normal work rate. Okay, now it might be like a more of a tactical fight where the punch count can decrease, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be an all-out war, is what is what I think. Uh, but yeah, now, and I think I do also think that if, like I said, right now I believe Canelo possesses the power of a light middleweight. Now, ask yourself one question: can Canelo hit as hard as Jacobs? I mean, can Canelo hit as hard as a David Lemieux? I mean, honestly, can he? Okay, now, balloon up Canelo, get him a little bit bulked up and ballooned up and a little bit gassed out, and that mediocre power becomes null and void, right? That mediocre power, when he's fresh, round one, round two, round three, becomes just completely void. And what happens, I mean, I just don't see any way that Canelo's going to walk away with the win. Now, look at these punches here. I want you to look at them. Okay, and compare the two. You can see the power, the balance, okay, the technique, the kinetic energy. Everything is there. I mean, everything is on point. And it's night and day. I wish someone could like put a side by side with Golovkin throwing and Canelo throwing. It's just night and day, especially the power. All right. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like Canelo is training for a short fight. That's my way of looking at it. I can't make any sense of a guy coming into a new territory, really, right? Although we had 3 acclamation fights, I just don't understand what they're doing here. Like, why is he so big? Flat-footed, he looks gassed. I don't understand their strategy. I really don't. Maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but Golovkin is going to push him. He's going to cut the ring off. He's going to make him work every minute, every round. Apply the pressure. Uh, you know, And I think it's going to be a bad night for Canelo. I really do. This is just a bad thing for Canelo to change his entire style, his physique, his body, his everything, on the verge of the biggest fight, of his career. So, and on a side note, by the way, Cotto said he wanted the winner of Golovkin Canelo, so I thought that was interesting. But I'll probably leave it at that. I want to know what you guys think. I mean, just basically a quick summary. I just don't understand. Look, and I'll be fair. Let's keep it fair, okay? Let's not lean one way or the other. Golovkin, I like what I see. Okay, he's coming along good. And I'm being as honest and as fair as I can possibly be. Okay, now I don't like he looks a little bit soft around the edges. I don't like that. Okay, I don't like he looks a little. And by the way, Canelo said he was tired in the Chavez fight. If you go back and pull up interviews, Canelo even admitted that he gassed out in the Chavez fight. That's why he couldn't knock him out. By the way, because there was a lot of a lot of questions. Well, you've got basically a human punching bag in front of you. Why couldn't you knock him out? And Canelo replied, "Well, I was tired. I gassed out." So hey, there you go, right there, right from the horse's mouth, Canelo himself. Okay, but to keep it fair, like I said, Gennady Golovkin to me, he's not there yet. He's getting there. Now, as far as like the fundamentals and the technique and the power, just check, 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 right? But the body, I need to see a little more there. Now, out of Canelo, I don't know what they're doing. I cannot make any sense of it. I mean, I'm looking at this thinking, like, who came up with this game plan? Like, you need a different coach or something. So, but I don't know, guys. What do you think? Leave your comment below. I'm really interested in hearing what you have to say. And if there's any kind of like garbage in the comment section, I'm gonna delete and block.